Good evening, everybody. How's everyone doing today? Right now, we are out in Fukui Prefecture, and we're on a little bit of an adventure. So let's start the live stream by just doing a little signal and quality check. How is everything working? The Wi-Fi did not want to agree with me way out here. So we have gone ahead and switched over to 4G. How's everybody doing today? If the signal is okay and the sound is good, then we are good to go. All right, well, I'm walking through this mossy forest area right now, which was a huge mistake because I am wearing water shoes and apparently the ground was wet and it has now absorbed all of it straight into my feet. So this is gonna be a wildly fun live stream. But hello to everybody from all over the place. We are currently out in Fukui Prefecture in the city of Ono. And this area here is an area that I really wanted to feature on a video that I'm putting together of this trip. And there's a very specific and special spot. There's something super special about this town, and it's the castle in the sky that we'll have a chance to see. Actually, right now, this particular shrine that we're at is the entrance to the castle. And so I will show you that entrance, and then we will take a walk through an old Japanese castle town. Now, this is the, I don't know anymore, second day, third day of our adventure here on TOKYOLENS Explore. We are on video, I don't know what of I don't know what, but we're having a great time. And Fukui Prefecture was one of the areas selected by the Patreon crew to come and check out. Yeah, if you guys would give that like button some love, let's get this thing rolling. If you want to share the stream or the adventure anywhere, huge love for that. Hang out, join in the chat. I'm going to be trying to pay as much attention to the chat on this one as possible because this is just going to be a chill city backstreet walk. And so hopefully I should be able to read as much as possible. Yes, there was a thrift shop live stream yesterday, and as I talked about previously, I won't be leaving all live streams up on the channel. So that's why I recommend that you turn on all notifications for this so that you don't miss it. Even when it finishes, I usually leave it up for about 8 to 12 hours before removing it. But just like that, some of them will be gone. Let's see if we can't get the number of likes to match the number of viewers. So this right here is the entrance to the castle. Now, you'll see right here that there's a sign for monkeys. Well, I'm gonna have to do a hike tonight that I probably won't have to deal with that many monkeys, but there are a huge number of bear warnings for this area. If we were to walk from here up to the castle itself, it's up a mountain and it would take us between 20 and 30 minutes to get up there. And I just want to say a huge thank you to Sasha for kicking off the super chats on this stream. And he jumped in there with, here's a little something for a libation of your choice. Thank you very, very much. I've actually been a little bit worried about dehydration on this trip. Right now, I decided to do today's live stream in the evening because the heat today was just insane. It was about 33 degrees Celsius. And if somebody wants to drop the Fahrenheit equivalent to that in the chat here, that would be great. But the sun and the way it was beating down, I ended up I've probably put back 2 to 3 liters of water today, but still, the heat here in Japan in the summer is absolutely no joke whatsoever. So if you're coming out to Japan in the summer, make sure that you've got sunscreen, consider wearing a hat, and keep yourself hydrated. That is 91 degrees Fahrenheit, and yay for the hydration. So how is everybody doing today? Right now, we are going to walk out of these shrine grounds and we're gonna go explore some of the back streets of this area. I had no idea what to expect coming into here. And the town is actually quite quaint and peaceful looking. I think it's gonna be a nice spot for us just to take a bit of an evening walk. And yes, hydration is insanely important. And there's just something about Torii Gates that I always love. And there's Sana, she's jumping in saying, finally caught a live stream. I'm glad you're able to finally catch one. So off to this side here, there is a school ground with some kids practicing soccer right now. Yes, give that like button some love. Let's see if we can't get that over 100 in the next minute. And down over here, there is an absolutely beautiful little river. Now today, I actually recorded another video for TOKYOLENS Explore, a gorgeous 4K walk through by far one of the most beautiful temple grounds that I think I've had the chance to visit here in Japan. So we got the hydrangeas out here. Luckily, this area of Japan still has plenty of hydrangeas going, and I just got a branch right in the nose. Kind of hurt, but it's also hilarious because what are the odds of getting a branch going right in your nostril? I just don't feel like the odds of that would be very high. Got a little shrine thing here. Oh wow, that, sorry, I'm still recoiling from the pain, just a touch. It went right into the nostril, so there we go. And we're gonna cross over here. So I thought it might be fun as we do this city walk today to turn it into a little bit of a live walk, evening, stroll through the city, Q&A. And Cynthia in there, thank you so much. Cynthia in there with a £5 super chat saying, hi, hydration is super important. Here's for some extra sweet drinks. Thanks for the stream. Perfect timing for my running. Yay. Well, thank you so much for that. And thank you so much for joining. So one of the things that we'll do today is as we walk along, we'll do a little bit of a Q&A. This will be a nice, relaxed evening walk. You can see, look at the clouds. I don't know about you, but I actually have this weird love and obsession for summer clouds, those big, fluffy, rolling clouds that you see in the background there. There's just something about summer clouds that I love so much. And excuse the wind, this spot right here gets a little windy, so one heads up for that. And all right, I'm gonna try to start reading through questions as they come up. So do you ever see these places and get the urge to move there for a change? I've actually considered for the past year of moving out of Tokyo and moving into the countryside. The more I drive, the more accessible the rest of Japan starts to feel. And I've long considered getting myself a house out of the city in the countryside, maybe setting up a TOKYOLENS a TOKYOLENS hangout, you know, way out in the middle of nowhere. And Yami is saying, do you ever plan to go to Yamanashi and do videos or streams there? Yes, I do actually. Yamanashi has one of the highest concentrations of abandoned homes and buildings in all of Japan. And I have wanted to go out and do a piece on that for some time now. So let's look back this way. You can see the mountains over there. And Clayton, thank you so much. Says, Norm, have a Pocari Sweat or Dr. Jelly packet. I 100% will do exactly that. And up there, you can see the castle. And I don't know how well the terrible quality's picking it up, but I love these rays of sunshine coming in behind the castle there as the sun goes down over the mountain. On that side of the mountain over there is just nothing but green and rice fields. I popped the drone up over the mountain and it was spectacularly beautiful. I'll try to see if I can't share a picture or two on Twitter and show you that. So Clayton, again, thank you so much for that super chat. We're gonna start along here. This is amazing. Like, this is the, wow. Wow. Like the school area and whatnot is right there, and that is a beautiful building. So we're gonna start here, and then we're gonna turn into the back streets and explore things with the castle keeping us company the entire time. So, and Yami saying, what? I didn't notice that many abandoned homes in Yamanashi when I was there. I guess I wasn't looking for them or they weren't tended to. Yeah, more often than not, the ones that are abandoned tend to be more in the mountains than in the city. But even within the city, there are tons of abandoned places. You just might not know that they're abandoned. They're there and they're just empty. So again, if you're just joining the live stream now, I would love it if you would give that like button some love. If you're enjoying this week's adventure with new live streams every day, maybe share this somewhere, put a smile on my face. And Sanashi is saying, you've made so many videos and streams, but is there somewhere that you haven't or couldn't go to yet that you'd like to make a video on? I don't want this to feel like a cop-out, but there are so many places. Look at that, it's just a nice looking parking lot even. There are so many places that I would like to get out to and explore that I haven't had the chance to yet. In fact, just for this adventure right here, this 5-day adventure across Japan, the Patreon crew listed up way more places than I think I have something like 100+ locations on my list, and we're managing to box off maybe 5 to 10 on this trip. So really, this is just trip one of however many. We're just getting started on this channel and I'm having a great time with it. We're gonna get to explore and do so much. And I talk about it in some of the pre-recorded videos, but places like this might be your first time seeing here. And it's also my first time seeing here. So we get to explore it together. If there's something that you want to see a little bit more of, then you can always just ask in the chat. And then I get to look back at this memory anytime and forever remember my very first visit to Ono and Fukui. And I absolutely, absolutely love that. So, and Azriel, thank you so much. Azriel in there with a $15 super chat, putting a huge smile on my face saying, cheers for the later afternoon walk. Well, thank you very, very much for that. I really appreciate it. I really like a lot of the buildings out in this area. And there is one specific, you know what? I broke my own rule. There's a super narrow street back here, and I kind of want to go and explore it. So that's what we're gonna do. And how was climbing that tree from the campgrounds? Yeah, so I stayed at a campground that was all my own the other day, if you didn't catch the stream. And I got to climb a tree, which was really amazing and slightly more terrifying than I was originally expecting, but had a great time with it. So thank you. That will be making it into the video of the full week that we're doing right now. And at your guys' request, I am doing a video on everything that I pack and bring with me for a trip here, like a 1 week trip. What gear do I bring? What camping stuff do I bring? What do I pack into that camper van? And yes, that is the school back there. So I'm a bit bummed about missing your Kanazawa stream, as I lived in Kanazawa for a year from 2015 to 2016 and loved it there. Ah, I would have loved to have you there for that. You could have told me where to go, pointed me to different directions. And just, again, another huge thank you to Azriel and everyone else. So this is Ono now, but maybe you mean Norm's walk in Tsumago and Magome yesterday? Which one am I missing? I kind of want to... Okay, so we got someone doing a bit of gardening here. We won't go down too far. I don't want to bother her. What did I miss from Wabi Sabi? Where were you today with the bear warning and mossy stairs? Ah, yes. The bear warning and mossy stairs. So the bear warning and mossy stairs was actually at that beautiful temple that I mentioned at the very beginning of this live stream. So there is a temple that I did a 4K pre-recorded walk for TOKYOLENS Explore. And again, I'm sorry, but look at those clouds back there. Ugh. I love summer clouds so much. Summer thunderstorms too. Can the summer thunderstorm crew please put their hands up if you love them as much as I do? The ones that there's no rain, but there's the giant clouds and lots of thunder. I love it. So that bear warning was from the temple that I will be releasing hopefully within the next week or two. And it's actually a shorter video. It's only going to be about between 30 and 40 minutes. But what an incredibly, incredibly beautiful space. So really, really enjoyed it. Now, if you're just tuning into the live stream now, since we're just doing a chill back street walk through Ono here in Fukui, we figured we would take today and do it as a little bit of a Q&A. So if you have any questions, anything that you want to know about our current trip, or anything that you've wanted to ask but haven't had the chance, so I was getting a rock out of my shoe, and feel free to pop them in and I will try to catch as much as I can. I would love to walk those streets. Did you ever visit Kanazawa? Yes, I did yesterday. Yesterday's live stream was from Kanazawa. So if you have missed that, I highly encourage you to go back and catch up on the Kanazawa live stream. We did a whole walk through one of the most traditional and beautiful areas. So I cannot recommend it to you enough. Make sure you go back and check that out. Okay, I want to go this way because I see a temple out there, and we're going to loop through some of the streets here. I also just like having the mountains in the background, crows flying off there. So there we are. And about how much were those box shamisen? Depending on the type, they were each a little bit different, but the website for the company is linked in the description, and there goes a loud car. And I stuck around afterwards to work out a deal with the owner of that shop to help produce more affordable entry-level shamisen-esque items to help people get into the world of shamisen. And it is currently 6:46 p.m. here in Ono. And there we are. Why aren't there any people around? Well, you see, Ono is a few different things. Number one is it's a really quiet, small town. Number two is it's mostly a car town, so more people will be driving around and cycling around than walking around. And number three is it's an out-of-the-way, countryside, small town Japanese village, so there aren't that many people to begin with. And Joyful Cheese, which I still gotta say, absolutely love that username, says, would the camper van be an efficient, worthwhile way to see more of Japan on and off the usual routes? Yes, yes, yes. I cannot say yes enough. The camper van allows you to pull up to a roadside station like a Michino Eki and relax and sleep there for the night. You know, maybe pop up the top, get a little extra air. It's small enough that you can navigate any Japanese roads. It's also a turbo, so the engine definitely has enough power. I have no issues with it on the highway. I have so much fun with it. I think the company I think is called Third Place Camper. And if I remember well enough, maybe Patreon crew, if you guys could drop something in the Discord to remind me, I'd like to add a link to the description because I am loving it so much. I kind of also don't want a bunch of people to jump into Japan and start using it because then I can't use it all the time. But it's very, very much worth it. So there we go. Let this car go by. She was really nice. Huge smile on her face. And I just love these quiet back streets of towns like this. They're just so beautiful and peaceful. Something tells me this is probably like the Ono main road. It's got that main road feel to it. So there we are. And I'm just scrolling through to make sure I haven't missed any additional questions. And Tom's in here saying, was supposed to go to Kanazawa, Takayama, Okuhida Onsen on my canceled 2020 trip. Thanks to you, I got to see Kanazawa. Well, thank you very much. I would say more than anything, thanks to the Patreon crew. Tim and several other people highly recommended it. And I'm glad that we managed to get out there. Kanazawa was a very, very fun live stream. Again, if you haven't seen it, that was yesterday's live stream. So all you gotta do is go back one day, one stream, boom, there it is. So there we go. Now we're getting some more people. This feels like a main road. All right, what have we got going here? Okay. There we are. The Ono vibe is its own thing. It is very exciting. And the next stop for tomorrow is still kind of up in the air and undecided. There is a list. The Patreon crew has like the full general itinerary. They know the areas that I'm going to, but in the end, it really comes down to me chasing weather. I'm trying to chase the best possible weather for our trip that I can. And you know what? Let's look back and see, can we see the castle? Oh, I should have taken the thumbnail on this street. Look at that. Look at that with the castle in the background there in terrible, terrible quality. Oh, that is beautiful. There we are. Look at that. It's times like this that, to a certain degree, I'm glad that we're doing this live because I can zoom in and show you that. And with the GoPro walks, I wouldn't be able to do that, and we wouldn't be able to have the chat, and we wouldn't be able to do the Q&A and everything like that. So, super glad that we're able to do this. And cars are starting to come by. There we go. Whew. So if you're just joining now, give the like button some love and feel free to drop in a question as we walk through these back city streets of Ono. We're doing a bit of a Q&A. So look at that. Absolutely loving these streets. And can people still visit the castle during this period? Yeah. Cities like Ono are down to a handful of cases per week. And so life here, while still not normal, is a little less stressed than life in other places. See, I see a temple down here, and I know if I asked you guys, should we walk down to the temple? The answer would be yes. So we're gonna walk towards the temple and do a little exploration down there. So, yeah, I knew it would be a yes. I'm actually really glad that Ono came up, that Fukui as a whole came up as the recommended places from the Patreon crew to do some exploring. I love the feel of the city. It's very quiet, it's very quaint, it's very relaxed. And apparently, there's even shops down there. So. And Laura, thanks so much. Glad to have you here. Thanks again for the shirt. Pigeon shirt rocks. So let's head down towards this temple here and see what we can find. There's a severe lack of stairs in this in this live stream, and I for one am very much okay with that. So really loving the sky and the sunset vibes today. As we get down to the temple here, we'll start exploring through. I'm gonna do the jaywalking thing. Totally illegal. I'm going to jail. The Fukui police are gonna come grab me, and they're gonna be like, hey, you're that jaywalking foreigner who just made it look like it's okay to jaywalk in our city. I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's me. And they're gonna be like, okay, well, we're gonna put you in jail, but we'll give you cake. These are the kind of things that happen in my imagination. So if I have missed any questions, feel free to drop them back into the chat there. Look, a cop. There's no cop. I'm calling the FBI right now. Are you using a GoPro? No, I only use a GoPro when I absolutely have to, because they are about as useful as a brick with a lens attached to it. I am currently using an old iPhone 8 with a Moment 14mm lens attached to it. And there we go. Andrew, thank you so much for dropping that one back in. Have you been into Fukui City yet? I passed through Fukui City today, took a peek. It had that city vibe, and I was like, oh, am I gonna stream here or am I gonna stream in Ono? Because I got some castle plans, and Ono won out the very second I saw it. But thank you. And what is the specialty food in this area? I'll be honest with you, I'm the last person who will be able to tell you the specialty food in any area. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's probably rice or some form of rice derived food. I don't know. it would be hilarious if that was right. If somebody like Googles like the local food of Fukui and it turns out to be something based on rice, I'm gonna treat myself to a nice dinner tonight. So. All right, and Daniel here says, every street you walk has its own charming character. This is why I love to watch your live streams. What was your motivation to move there? So my motivation to move to Japan, we kind of talked about in the other day how I'd done a video about how I came to Japan. But if I touch on it, much like many others, I had a love for Japan. I came out here. I lived here once and then I left. And when I got back to Canada, a good friend of mine handed me a CD. And I said, what is this CD? He said, it's shamisen music. And I said, well, what is shamisen music? And he's like, wait, you spent like a year in Japan and you don't know shamisen music? What are you talking about? I was like, I've never heard of this. He's like, just listen to this CD. These guys are called the Yoshida Brothers and they're super awesome. You won't regret it. And so I figured, okay, I will listen to the CD. I listened to the CD and that was my first time ever hearing the Yoshida Brothers. And it was crazy and exciting and I fell in love with the sound of the shamisen. And soon after, my little brother Alexander dragged me out to an anime convention in Washington, and I had the opportunity to not only hear the Yoshida Brothers play live, but also meet them face to face. And it was pretty much at that point that I decided that I wanted my life to be about shamisen. And I moved to Japan. Just made the full move. I was like, forget it. We're not spending a year. We're not doing anything like that. We are, and to those who don't know, who are just kind of stumbling on this, a shamisen, while you could Google it, is a 3-stringed Japanese instrument. It is absolutely amazing. Check out any of the content that I have done over on TOKYOLENS. A lot of it features shamisen stuff. And that was my introduction to the shamisen world and how I got into it. So, have you ever climbed Mount Fuji before? And that's from Natalie. Yes, Natalie, I have. Before becoming a YouTuber, what do we got here? I see the temple back there. I'm just trying to figure out how to get to it. Before becoming a content creator of any kind, I did a climb up Mount Fuji, and I will never do it again. Do you plan on doing more thrift store videos? Absolutely. I go to thrift stores every single month. I love them. I love when I come out to areas like this. That's one of the things I search for, is like local thrift shops. And I did a thrift shop live stream yesterday that didn't stay up. So again, if you don't have notifications on, you're bound to miss them. So make sure all notifications are turned on for the channel. So, and what was the I wasn't wrong, yay. Aw, I love that. And Adams42 is asking if the 14mm fisheye for the phone is better than the 18mm lens. And I think it's better for streaming because it's about half the size and weight. So, did I miss what the food was? All right. I watched your shamisen channel a bit. Thank you. My shamisen channel is my first official YouTube channel. So, have you fixed up your old shamisen? Not yet. When I do, I want to make a video of it. I feel like this backside here has to be the entrance to the temple. So, did you go back for that flamingo from the thrift shop? No, I did not. Have you ever been to Shinjuku Gyoen Park? I have, but I have a special dislike for the area of Shinjuku, so I don't go there as often as maybe would be worth it. Did you watch the Mashiro no Oto Snow White Notes anime? It's an anime about shamisen players. No, but I finished the manga about 10 years ago. That's how I learned to talk about shamisen stuff. Actually, when I first met the Yoshida brothers, we tried to talk about shamisen stuff, and it did not go well. I couldn't talk about music whatsoever. I think the temple's over here. And so the older Yoshida brother said there's actually a manga, whatever you want to call it. And you can probably learn a lot of the senmon yogo, the technical, the jargon from there. And so I picked up the mango and we got on our way. So, and Tokyo Paul 360 is saying, Tokyo Lens Explorer, I heard you knew Totally Drew. If so, will you guys collaborate? Drew's been on my channel before. If you go back to some of the early videos on my channel, Drew and I have done some stuff together. It's up on there. And I've been on his. And we're about to get hit by a truck if we're not careful. There we go. Now we're into some back streets. The temple's here. There's another little thing here. We found it. I feel like a wee bit of success, and we're into some narrow back streets, so I like that. And I'm still trying to catch up on questions here. So Lo-Fi says, I know it's taboo to ask, but do you have a permanent visa and is it expensive to live there? So now some of you might be like, why is it taboo to ask? And that's a very reasonable question. For some reason, some people living in Japan are incredibly sensitive about their visa status. Now, mind you, it is a personal struggle for each person to try and get a visa into Japan. Each person kind of has to take their own route and do it in their own way. So I can understand some people not wanting to be asked or bothered about it. And here we are in the temple now. You can hear the cicadas. And I have some stuff I really want to show you in this temple. But for me, I'm a permanent resident in Japan and I have no problem sharing that. You know, visas and all that, again, person to person are very different. And when it comes to cost, it is very, very subjective. If you know how to live, Japan can be a very, very cheap place to live. I can't imagine being able to live as cheaply as I do in Canada. Okay, so one thing that's really interesting is a lot of Japanese temples will also run daycares. In fact, today I went to a Japanese temple that ran as a care facility, also had a daycare, and had an onsen, a Japanese hot spring. And so today I had the wild experience of getting to take a bath at a Japanese temple. And that was amazing. That will hopefully make it into the final cut of the main video over on TOKYOLENS. So if you're wondering why there's all this fun and exciting stuff here, it's because this doubles as a daycare. And this is so tempting. This is so tempting, but I know I shouldn't. I'm an adult. I need to do an adult thing and walk away. So, all right, we're gonna walk away. And I'm gonna try and catch up on questions here. But if I miss anything, again, you can just toss it back in later on if you really want it answered. And I was wondering what happened to the giant thrift store video that was on the playlist and then gone. Yes, I mentioned this earlier, won't be leaving all videos up. I'll leave some up for like 8 to 12 hours and shazam, they're gone. So that's why I say we need to turn on all notifications for this channel if you don't want to miss stuff, because some stuff like that, gone. So, and the visa status, like getting a visa to live in any country is a challenge all of its own. So, and again, this happens to us on every single live stream. I need to find a place where I can grab a drink. I think it's all the talking. I need to just start carrying a bottle along with me on these live streams. That way I don't get super thirsty midstream and then spend half the stream searching for a beverage. So, do you ever have any impulse to discover more of Korea other than your short trip? I may visit again. Like, I visited Charlotte in Korea a few years back. It was interesting, but my love for Japan just takes up so much of my time that I can't see myself going back anytime soon. So, being an adult is boring. Play at the there we go. You need to carry a big old bottle of water. Yes, I really, really do. And Eugene says, TOKYOLENS Explorer. Hey Norm, any plans to visit Albo and do a car-related collab? Maybe do some toge with him and meet some drift girls? You know, honestly, Albo and I have done plenty of collabs in the past. In fact, I'd say a good number of the videos that kicked off this channel were with Albo, and the more we move forward, the busier our schedule gets and the more ambitious our goals for a collaboration and our ideas get, and the harder it gets to pull it off. If we were ever to come up with something super simple and just be able to box it off, it might be an option, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. I have adventures planned for at least the next year. Yes. All right. We got some music playing out of the speakers here. And all right, guys, this is where we're gonna choose right or left. Do we go down this street here or do we go to the right? Let me know. What are we doing? Visit to India? I would absolutely love to visit India. What are we doing? Right, right, left, left, right. Oh, is it? Right, left. It's so split. Right, left, left. Right got smaller, right. It is literally split right down the middle. Oh, left is starting to win for a second. Left is winning. Left has won. Left has just straight up won. All right. I saw a huge group of the Patreon crew just jumping in with left, so we're gonna go to left because it just outweighed everything. So, also just a massive thank you to everyone who's been contributing to this adventure, whether it be through Patreon, through just joining the live streams, through the super chats, through hanging out on the Patreon Discord, or any of the behind the scenes streams or anything like that. To those who help design and pick out the route, it means the absolute world, not just to myself, but to everybody who gets to experience this along with us. So if you are viewing right now, or if you're even viewing afterwards and you've taken the time to be a part of this, thank you so much. it means the world. I'm really glad that I can share all this with you. This is kind of a test adventure too, because I'd like to be able to do like, what is up with the music too? It's like 1950s, like what is going on with this music? Anyway, and Iku Tree is saying, I want to join the Patreon squad one day when things are more stable. If you guys don't know Iku Tree, check out her Instagram. Beautiful artist, really dedicated to everything she does, and really great projects all the time. So, you are very welcome, Iku. You work really hard on your stuff, and I can see that, and it's just, I always enjoy it. So thank you for always being a huge, huge part of this. Really appreciate it. Has Norm been to the castle yet? Well, I can't get to the castle right now because, well, we can't even see the castle. We'll see when we get to this intersection here. You see, the castle's up on a mountain, and the path through the mountain, I had actually tested it. I did a bit of a test walk, and the middle section for, I'd say, a good 10 to 15 minutes just has zero signal whatsoever. So we would have lost signal and not been able to, okay, we got some vending machines here. We got, no Suica capabilities. All right, moving on. And the background music is apparently coming out of my head. The background music is coming out of speakers up on the street here. All right, so we're gonna cross here. We're gonna take a look down the street at the castle as we do. Are you kidding me? Is it already? Oh, come on. I will say this much though. The lights out here in Ono are incredibly short. Like every single light is like a few seconds and then done. Okay, we ended up walking so far in that direction that we lost the castle. Look at this area though. The gear list doesn't mention his phone, which one. I mentioned this earlier on, but I'm currently streaming from like a 5-year-old iPhone 8. What is a place you've always wanted to go, but it was either too far off or too expensive to get to? Honestly, tiny street. Australia was a big one for me. I know it's not Japan. No, the street is blocked off. No. That's heartbreaking. Boom, roadblock. Australia was the big country for me outside of Japan. And I had just never managed to get the time to go there. And I don't really do like vacations. So when I finally got to take the shamisen players, Kiki, to Brisbane to do some performances, it's a Honda NSX down there, I was over the moon happy and did some of my favorite videos ever on the channel. So, but otherwise here in why are you not using your newer phone for the streams? Well, you see, my newer phone doesn't have a very big data plan, is a huge part of it. So if the Wi-Fi cuts out, like this location here, the Wi-Fi is just garbage and it just doesn't want to connect. So unfortunately, I need to lean on the 4G, and I've got like 2 gigabytes of data or something, and these streams can easily go through more than that. So there we go. Look at that. Look at that street. Look at that view. If that view doesn't give you a reason to hit the like button, then what will? So the newer phone that I keep in my pocket, honestly, I'd love to stream off of it, but okay, moving on. Just loving that view. Look at that color of the sky tells me that tomorrow might be a nice day. Mind you, the weather forecast for the area is implying that tomorrow definitely won't be a nice day. So we will see. And Annette in there refreshing the super chats with a DKK45. Honestly, Annette, thank you so much for that. Hey Norm, a cup of coffee. I owe you. You owe absolutely nothing. I'm gonna turn this around and chat for. I've got, right now, I have my phone plugged into a giant power bank in my pocket. There we go. And so the cable is so long that I've got it just wrapped around my neck. But look at that sky. Look at this. How can I turn this back around? Look at that. Ah, it is so, the colors are so much more dull on the camera than they are in real life. In real life, that is very, very pink. It is beautiful. So again, Annette, thank you so much for that. Is pocket Wi-Fi gonna give out in some more rural areas? So here's the thing, my pocket Wi-Fi had zero problem downloading. The download speeds were beautiful. I was getting something like 70 megabits per second, but for some reason it was giving me 2 megabits per second on the upload. And I was like, well, the live stream is all upload, so we're gonna be in some trouble there. So that is kind of unfortunate. Some rural areas, I give up on English. Some rural areas, that's actually kind of hard to say. Try and say it 3 times fast. Rural areas. Anyway, some rural areas will give you a little bit of trouble, but for the most part, you're usually okay. And look at this. Just beautiful. I love it contrasted against this old like warehouse style building and the antenna in the background. There's just something about this scene right here that I absolutely love. So beautiful. Just beautiful. Okay, so fun enough. I actually parked in this parking lot for a while. Look at that sunset. And Slices of Japan. Give me a second to read this one out here. Slices of Japan. I actually really love that for like a channel name. That is beautiful. I'm gonna say it again. Slices of Japan. Says, hey Norm, thank you for the, I can't read apparently. Hey Norm, thank you for the fun and chill town walk. Here is something for a drink. You have earned it. Honestly, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Means the absolute world. And again, if you're new, I want to share something in just a second, but I want to see if anybody recognizes this scene. Does anybody recognize this? What is this scene from? If you can tell me what this exact scene is from, you'll get an extra high five from me when we meet. Anybody? Nobody? I'll zoom in one more time and see if you can recognize this scene right here. Oh, and Keishin 172 got it right out of the gate. Yes, that is the thumbnail. I had actually brought the camper van over to here. I wanted like a narrow street with a nice view of the castle, and I love the contrasting wires up here. So I zoomed in and took the thumbnail right here. So, and do places close a lot earlier there? I would say places close a lot earlier in Japan in general. Especially out here in the countryside, yes. Sometimes the countryside even stays open later. But the thing is that the, what's it called? Like Tokyo, for example. If you want to hear the most mind-blowing thing in the world, the area of Akihabara, one of the electronic centrals of the world, the definite electronic central of Japan. You would think that those shops would be open from, like, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m., considering how crowded the area gets and how many people are going through it. But Akihabara, when I went to build my computer, the majority of like computer shops and whatnot are open from 11 a.m. until 6 or 7 p.m. I could not believe how short those shops are open for. And local HJ. Hey, how's it going, mate? In here with a $5 super chat saying, keep it up, Norm. It is 5 a.m. in Chicago. Thank you. And yes, they have street markets here in Ono in the mornings. Andrew Hardistry is pointing that out right now. And I want to say that is very true. As I was driving in and I saw that, I was like, oh, morning street markets. But I will be very busy setting up the next adventure tomorrow morning. So unfortunately, I won't be catching the morning street markets. So we got a slightly narrower, look at this, with the car coming down here. I think I found my favorite street in this town. It is 100% definitely this street. Look at that. What time is it that it's so deserted? It is 7:22 p.m. and it's not the time that's got it deserted. It's the fact that it is a small town out in the Japanese countryside. So there are going to be very few people walking, as the majority of people will be traversing by car. So I mentioned this in yesterday's stream, but for any of you who didn't have the opportunity to catch yesterday's stream, I wanted to tell you guys a little something. So the TOKYOLENS Explorer channel was built for exploration and for sharing as much of that exploration as I can with you guys. Earlier on, there was a question that said, is there anywhere that you've wanted to go that you haven't been able to or haven't been able to afford to? And honestly, everywhere that we're going are places that I have wanted to box off on the travel list and places that I've wanted to share, especially while people can't be here. And so my promise and dedication is that every single thing that we get, every little bit of ad revenue, every single super chat, everything goes back into making adventures for this channel. I'm calling it a revolving channel. What goes in definitely comes back out of it. And so the whole goal is to continually do adventures, whether we just hop out somewhere for a day or whether we do something like this where I visit multiple places throughout a week and we visit all of these different places. That's the goal with this channel. This channel is just there to build adventures and share Japan with those of you who either can't be here now or have things in your life that hold you back from being here in the long run. And so I know, I have family members who, because of health stuff or because of life commitments, may never ever be able to visit me in Japan, no matter how much they want to. And I know there are people like that out there as well. Whenever I can, I'm gonna put them into a big group, like 5-6 day road trips, because I can really manage costs a lot better and manage time a lot better. But every now and then, we'll also just jump out. We'll do a day trip somewhere just for a live stream, or do a day. The test for this channel was the Kimi no Nawa, Your Name live stream out in the area of Suwako. And you guys were so loving and so supportive with that live stream that I thought, you know what, we have to turn this into a common thing where we just go out and explore stuff and we build adventures together. So if you didn't know already, that is the concept for this channel. And this is actually a really beautiful cemetery. And Stephanie here is saying, have to go. Have fun. Here's a little something for on the road. Thank you so much. And this sky, this whole area, this is the color palette that I want my life to be. Oh, mind you, the blue is nice. The pinkishness kind of disappeared over here. And Jack Daniel the Seventh. This is is your name actually Jack Daniel, or is that like a Jack Daniels thing? I gotta know. Please let me know. And it says, "May the adventure continue." Thank you so much for that. So, if you're really into the Japanese aesthetic with the small towns that have a lot of temples and shrines and whatnot in the background, also, to me, that light is not green. That's just a white light. But the camera be picking that up as green. I would definitely say this here, the town of Ono, is a spectacular place for that. How many temples and shrines have we come across on this walk already? Kanazawa was another one for that. Yesterday's walk in Kanazawa proved to be filled with little temples and shrines. But we are losing light very quickly, aren't we? Look at the bell. Look at the size of that bell. I was supposed to be like, here's my hand for it, and it doesn't. It's a huge bell. That bell itself is probably as tall as me. I don't know if it comes through on the screen. That is a giant bell. Wow. It's so peaceful and beautiful. We're gonna head back out onto the street, and then I'm gonna have you guys choose the next section of the adventure, which direction we go. There are two possible ways that I'd like to go. And there's a really good question here. And since today I said we do as much Q&A as possible, I want to answer this one because I think it's a question that I would have if I saw someone doing these trips. And the question is, do you ever get lonely doing these trips on your own? Do you ever get lonely traveling alone? I was honestly kind of worried about that for a while. And you can see the castle up in the background there. Zoom back out. I was honestly worried about that for a while because I had travel buddies for all of my trips. And so what we're gonna do is, as I'm answering this question, we're gonna choose left or right. Which way are you going? You guys choose and let me know. So, we got a first vote for left. So on these trips, I genuinely worried that, wow, left gang is playing hard. Okay, the left gang just won it right out of the gate. It was just so much left that there were no other options. And is this yet another temple ground? This is like temple paradise. And so the short answer is no, I don't really get lonely on these trips. In fact, I use downtime on these trips whenever I get it. Like, I got to talk to, okay, so I don't often talk about my brothers and sisters and all that much outside of like my brother Alexander and my brother Jesse. My sisters have always kind of opted to not be on the content, and so I respect that and I don't reference them that much. But my youngest sister is about to have a baby, and today they called me, and yesterday was the baby shower, and I'm just a tiny bit sad that I couldn't be there. But I'm also so excited and so happy for her. And I use some of the downtime on my trip to do stuff like that. Jump on a video call with my loved ones and just kind of catch up with people. Every now and then I'll call my mom and dad and just see how they're doing, and and I really enjoy that time. When I'm sitting down in the office editing videos and stuff, time can fly by so quickly that you don't realize when an entire day has gone by. But on the road, I have a chance to catch up on podcasts, plan and think things out. And then when I stop and I take little breaks at rest stops, I love to get in touch with those that I love. So, and Iku Tree is in here, says, back to studying. Thanks for the shout out and the lovely street view. Hope to be here in Japan the second I can. Take care. Again, guys, if you haven't already, go take a peek at Iku Tree over on Instagram. She puts so much love into her work and you can really see it. So, spoilers, but it looks like there are more temples on the street. There are. Hi. Oh, how I wish I could walk and live stream with the Sony a7S III so that we could just see every beautiful detail. But in all fairness, right now, the lighting on the camera and lighting in my eyes are almost spot on, exactly the same. So you guys are seeing this pretty much at the level that I'm seeing it. So all right. And it looks like we're gonna have some more choices to make. And each one of these temples around here has a bell too. Iku also has a great YouTube channel. You know what? 100% worth plugging that. Iku also has a great YouTube channel. Plugged, it is in there. All right. So, we've got the well-lit streets down here. Or we have the back streets of darkness. Well-lit or back streets of darkness. What are we doing? And yeah, there are tons and tons. A7S4 this year. There's not going to be an A7S4 this year. It's guaranteed not to happen. It was something like 10 years between the A7S2 and the A7S3, so. And I'm looking for all right. Light side into the light. Okay. I was reading and trying to catch up on some of the questions and responses there. I do miss traveling with a travel buddy every now and then, but one of the other things is with the amount of content that I'm doing on this trip, like so far we've done what, 3-4 live streams, in addition to which I have filmed 2 TOKYOLENS Explore walk around videos, shot 1 TOKYOLENS video, and I'm already in the midst of working on a second TOKYOLENS video, and we've been on the road for what, 3 days? Count all that content. There is absolutely no way that I would be able to focus on producing that much content if I brought a guest with me. We'd have to, at the very least, cut it in half. You see, when you bring a guest, you gotta worry about their sleep schedule, you gotta worry about their health, and if they say, hey, I wanna stop for lunch, then you gotta stop for lunch. But for me, I can just stock up on convenience store food and head off and just eat out of the kombini bag for days at a time. So, interesting little building here too. Really nice space. Let's head back this way, stick with our theme of the well-lit streets. And Tokyo Paul 360. Hey, Tokyo Paul 360, are you doing 360 videos? If you're doing 360 videos, let us know, because I wanted to do more 360 videos, and then I didn't do more 360 videos. because of how long it takes to process and upload them, and then the processing time on YouTube, and then the quality they turn out in. And I was like, that's a lot for one video. So if you do 360 videos and people are into that, I'd like them to go over and check it out. So love your 360 vids. Hope to see you do a Drew collab. Honestly, I'd love to do a lot more of the 360 stuff. And surprise, a temple. Not surprised at all. Do you have a favorite dish there? No. Maybe just a normal round plate. Some cups are good. I am joking, by the way. My favorite dish will be whatever they're making here, which is not food. All right, that didn't work out. Yes, they do take forever to render. Like, I have a beast of a computer and it still takes forever. Haven't noticed if the city has awesome manhole covers. Actually, I'll be honest, the manhole covers here, you can see my reflection or my shadow. What? The manhole covers here are pretty standard. We'll wait for this car to come back. You gotta peek at it there. Yeah, you gotta peek at it there. And one more car. But yeah, not super exciting manhole covers, so. I wonder if this shop is open during the day. I guess with the boxes the way they are, it's probably open during the day. So. Add more RAM, get solid state drive to reduce processing time. Neither one of those things will do anything. I can guarantee you. I watch my resources and it's not the RAM. My RAM is never maxed out. It is nearly impossible to max out 128 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM, especially at the speed I have. And I have M.2 solid state drives. Does absolutely nothing for processing time. The one thing that does is my processor is always running at 100%. And I have pretty much the most powerful processor that you can purchase for a rendering computer. And that's the unfortunate side of things, is that it's just never fast enough for me. In all fairness, I can process a 6K video 15 minutes long in something like 8 minutes. That's still pretty good, but 360 videos just take absolutely forever. I cannot remember the name of my CPU. I was trying to remember it and I wanted to be like, I have this CPU, but it doesn't matter in the end. How have we not... Okay, there's more temples down there, but it's definitely far too dark for us to walk through. The resolution for 360 videos works as it's usually about a 5.7, 5.8K all around resolution. So when you watch them, you really need to zoom out so you can get as close to 1080p as possible. And David Miller in here giving rebirth to the super chats saying, how is it working with Chris? Comments on Journey Across Japan. It's always fun working with friends. Obviously it's serious work because the Journey Across Japan series is huge and a lot of people are going to see it. So you got to get the shots just right. And especially when the dedication that someone like Chris puts into his stuff, you don't want to let them down. So you try to do your absolute best. The series was so much fun to shoot. And I think a lot of that fun, but not all of it, comes out in the videos themselves. The videos are a ton of fun to watch. If you haven't watched Chris's Journey Across Japan series, go over and give it a look. If that is the thing that you're into, you will really enjoy it. Such a purple sky now. So tempting, but also I feel like, no, there's no curfew. Wow, look at this. There's no curfew, especially in this area, because this area only has a small handful of single-digit corona cases like in a week. So I highly considered going over to okay, chopper, not, that's like, we don't ask stuff like that, come on, jeez. And look at that. I wonder if they're still using it. I would actually love to have like a building like this as like a studio. Yeah, I considered swinging by Lawson, but I don't want to walk in there with the camera. I don't. So the funny thing is, Natsuki and I actually worked on a video together while we were on Journey Across Japan. And we had a great time with it. And as we did that, we ran out of time. But the Patreon crew got our behind the scenes live stream for it. And if I'm able to salvage the 5 minutes of footage that Natsuki and I actually managed to record before we ran out of time, and before I lost some footage, thanks GoPro, I will 100% put that together. So yeah, this is super dark. I'm gonna have to stick to main streets. We are quickly running out of light. Yeah, so the fun thing is, and this is another reason why I have such a special love for GoPro, is that Natsuki and I put together this entire video that we were gonna do for Patreon. Most of it was shot on a GoPro, and the GoPro just decided to format itself partway through the day. I just turned it on and it was like formatting. I was like, wait, what? Why are you No, this can't be real. And I pulled the card and it was too late. It was all gone. And we are very quickly running out of light. This is absolute craziness. Look at this. Looks spooky. Go hunt some goat. What are we even looking at? There's nothing to see. We're gonna get down there to hopefully a street that has some lights. There's a temple over here and it's really beautiful, but you can't see it because it's super dark and the camera won't pick up anything. I love people who are like, it looks amazing. The sky looks nice. The sky definitely looks nice right now. I'm sure that it's not this dark on the other side of the castle. There's just a bunch of gorgeous fields over there. Yeah, there are very limited street lamps on this street, but that street right there seems to have them. So we'll turn and explore around the HDR mode. I wish. So yeah, the lost Patreon Natsuki video is another reason why I have such a deep-seated love for the for the GoPro company. Thanks guys. GoPro, I'm not showing you a choice finger right now at all. No, I'm not. And believe it or not, it's not the first video we've lost either. Have you done any stargazing? No, because it has been cloudy every single night. Why are there no lights? Why is everything darkness? It's literally just lights at this intersection here and then pure darkness. This guy's flashing his lights at me. What are you doing? It's a red light, bro. It is a red light. Don't flash your lights at me. Welcome to YouTube. Oh, why is it so dark? And there's so many more temples and we can't even see anything. This is redonkulous. I thought, okay, maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to pick up enough light to do like a night stream through here. I was most certainly wrong. A night stream walking this town would not work whatsoever. Welcome to Fukui. Need to get myself a bright old flashlight. I wonder if the light on my other phone would be enough to to guide our way with any form of significance. Not at all. Like, it does nothing. It gives you a reflection, but no actual light. So, solid efforts were made. All right. Wow, we got a small back street here, and it seems to have a bit more light, and looks like it might line up with a shrine out here. So, if you are just joining now, all the exciting information about where we are and what we're doing and the adventure that we're on is at the beginning of the stream. So I really invite you to go back and watch at the beginning when things wrap up. This is, oh, there's also, you can't see it, but it's a crescent moon tonight and it looks really beautiful. Are you carrying the lume cubes? No, I don't actually use lume cubes. I use aperture lights, and I did not. And do you ever forget where the car is? I actually put a pin where the car is just so that I don't forget, because otherwise I think I would definitely get lost. We can just see the moon, yeah. So. Hello, where we are is cloudy and clear off most days. It was raining earlier. Which side are you from? The mountains, volcanoes, wind? I have no idea. I don't know which side I'm on right now. I didn't double check Google Maps before the stream and check if I was north or south. Considering the fact though that the sun set behind the mountains, I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm on the eastern side, because that would make sense, right? And Adam Frost in here with an $8.99 super chat. Thank you so much for that, Adam. Really appreciate it. So tomorrow we're doing a brand new stream in a totally different area, completely different city. And then the next day we're doing it again. And the next day might even be doing it again. That is right. We are on something like day 2 of our 5 days of live stream adventure. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you give the like button some love and turn on notifications. It's so dark. There's nowhere I can turn that's not dark. There's nowhere I can turn. That's it. The darkness has just taken over, guys. That's it. So, to all of you who have contributed to today's live stream, who have hung out in the chat, thank you so much. Looking forward to our live stream tomorrow already. Hopefully each one of these live streams will continue to get better and better. Some of the locations coming up you are not gonna wanna miss. And then after that, we're gonna have all these videos on TOKYOLENS Explore that have been pre-shot and recorded in 4K for us to hang out and enjoy together. So thank you again. I have no idea what time tomorrow. That's the exciting thing. It might be another evening live stream. Hopefully I'll pick up on it a little earlier so we don't get stuck in the dark like we did today. And maybe the next day will be a morning live stream. We will play it by ear. It all depends on weather. So thank you guys so much for joining today. I hope that the rest of your day is absolutely beautiful. I've got to go try and find the car. No clue where I am or where the car is. So we'll have fun figuring that out. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow, not real soon. I will see you tomorrow. Patricia sneaking in a last second super chat there, $2.99. Thank you so much, Patricia. Love you all. And I will see you tomorrow for the continuation of this adventure. Bye, guys.